To start with that, it's Parashat Vayechi. Parashat Vayechi, we see that Yaakov, it's very interesting because the parasha says Vayechi, he will leave, but the whole idea is that Yaakov is dying, and he knows his end is very soon, so he speaks to his son Yosef, he calls him and he says, Yosef, he makes him promise him things. He makes him promise that he will bury him in Marat HaMachpelah, and another promise he asks him, he says, please do not take any revenge against your brothers, and make sure that your brothers they leave in peace and safely when I leave. And it's very interesting because already last week's Parashat Vayigash, we see that Yaakov finally discovered his brothers and he brings them to the palace, and when they come to the palace he asks them, they're flipping out when they finally get discovered. They're he's gonna kill us. He's going to be so angry at us. I mean, we sold him. And Yosef is not angry. The first thing he tells them is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent me here. And thank God that he...
Look how well I did.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm able to save you from hunger. Mm-hmm. And not only you, but the whole world. So thanks to you being saved, and thanks to me being shipped here, I was able to save the world. So he's not even angry, and you can ask yourself, how can he do that? I mean, come on. Someone sells you, someone throws you as a slave, he goes to jail, he didn't see his dad for years, his little brother, and he's not even upset at them. How was he able to do that? And when you go back to the promise that his dad is making him promise, his dad wants to make sure, he knows that Yosef didn't get upset, but his dad wants to make sure that it's certain that you're not going to do anything to your brother. And he's also telling him, please bury him in Marat HaMachpelah. And I'm sorry, but I couldn't bury your mother in Marat HaMachpelah. And the first question you ask is why is Yaakov justifying himself? Why is Yaakov telling his brothers, his son, that I'm sorry I couldn't bury your mother in Marat HaMachpelah? We all know the story that Rachel died on the way and they had to bury her. And the question really that the Rebbe is asking is that we know that Yaakov, if he wanted to, he could have stopped, he could have, he could have gone to Marat HaMachpelah. If he really wanted to, he could have done it. But what he's trying to tell Yosef is that not only it was on purpose, but your mother, Rachel, did not want to be buried in Marat HaMachpelah because Rachel, she saw that in the future, the Jewish people will be exiled and will have to leave Israel, and they will need someone to be with them, to comfort them, to support them. And she gave herself, she devoted herself to do this. And it's very interesting that this parasha is right this week, when tomorrow is Asara B'Tevet, is the fast of the 10 of Tevet. What's that fast? Yeah, it starts, I don't know exactly what time, but about 6 a.m. and then it ends about 5:30 p.m. Now, it's not correct times, but it's about that. You have to check the times. But it's very beautiful when you think about it, about Rachel for a second. She had all the choices in the world. She could have asked Yaakov. Yaakov loved her. She was the love of his life. If she had told him, please bury me in Marat HaMachpelah, we know he would have done it. The fact that she chose to be there, that's the Chachamim tell us, that's why she's called the Em of Am Yisrael, the mother of Am Yisrael. We know there were 4 mothers really of the Shvatim, of the tribes, but only one is called like this, it's Rachel. Why? Because the true power of a woman is when she goes out of her way, she sacrifices herself to protect the kids, to protect the children. And we see that thanks to what she does, we have, Rachel mevaka al banea. We say the Midrash that Rachel cries when she sees them leaving, She cries and cries and cries. And because she cries so much, we say Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, they all go to Hashem. They say, look what's happening. Look at your people. They're taking them for slavery. They're going to kill them. Do something. And Hashem doesn't react. Moshe Rabbeinu comes. Hashem doesn't react. Hashem only reacts when Rachel comes to him. Only when Rachel comes and cries, Hashem says, "V'shavu banim legola." I promise that I will return my Jewish people, my Jewish children. I will return them to Israel. They will come back, thanks to Rachel. So we see what Yaakov is giving. He's telling Yosef. He says, "Don't think that your mother didn't want that. It's not just that it happened that she died on the way. She wanted to be there for your great grandchildren when they will need her, when they will need someone to be with them in their sorrow. And we see that today a Jewish woman really does that. When you go in your home and you build, this warm feeling with your husband, with your children, just with your friends around you, when you build this warm feeling, it makes people want to get closer to Hashem and just to stay in the religion. And that's why in the Torah, the woman is the one who gives the religion and the man is the one who gives usually the Torah. What's the difference? Is that a woman, she doesn't look for external recognition. She doesn't need the external recognition. A man needs that. Let me give you examples and explain.
What do you mean she gives the religion?
The recognition, not religion. Oh, the religion?
To be Jewish, that you are Jewish?
To be Jewish comes from the mother. If the mother is Jewish, the children are Jewish. Right. The man gives the Torah. He teaches, he teaches his children. What's the difference? It's because one is an internal work. It's something, you don't have to make, wow, I made a kid and he's Jewish. When you're pregnant, it's covered. You don't even see the baby, right? For 9 months. And then you give birth and automatically the baby is Jewish. But all your work is hidden. You don't see it. The man, it's different. The man, when he gives something, usually the man needs the public attention, the recognition. He needs something tangible that he can hold. That's why in the religion, the man is the one that has most mitzvot, that he actually has to put tefillin. He has to go to shul. He has to do things that are actually tangible, that he can say, okay, I feel it, I did it, right? He has to feel Hashem. It has to be something that is already out there, something that we recognize. A woman, she doesn't need that. Everything that she does, it's very subtle and it's inside the home. Akeret habayit, she's the one who builds the foundation of the house. That's what the woman does. It's very different. That's why Rachel Imenu, she didn't need to be buried, in Marat HaMachpelah with all the avot and imaot. She was okay being on the side of the road because she knew that what was important is a role when the people needed it the most. While Yaakov Avinu, he needed to be buried in Marat HaMachpelah because he was a man. He needed actually to be attached, tangibly to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to the other avot. He needed to be part of a big thing, to be part of already a revealed, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, not just something that was already, low key. So that is the big difference between the two. And why I'm saying it's interesting that we talk about the parasha is exactly this week of Asara B'Tevet, of the fast of the 10 of Tevet, because this fast is very, very, it's a key fast. It's a fast that is all about the beginning of the end. The fact, what happened tomorrow on the 10 of Tevet, they did the siege of the city, right, of Yerushalayim. And later on, they did the siege of the Bet HaMikdash on Shiva Asar B'Tammuz, the 17th of Tammuz. And 9 of Av, they just destroyed it and they burned everything, killed everyone, threw everyone, exiled everyone. So this is really the beginning of the end. And it took about 2.5 years to the 10 of Tevet until the 9 of Av, when they were the end, when they were actually destroying everything. Another idea why is it interesting that this fast is right in this month. Tevet is usually a month that there is no holiday. Look around. Shvat, you have Tu B'Shvat. Nisan, you have Pesach. Sukkot, Tishri. Most of the months of the year, there is something happening. Even Av, that is really sad. It's 9 of Av. You have Tu B'Av. So Cheshvan, also Mach Cheshvan, that's why that's one of the months. And these 2 months, they're kind of in the autumn and winter times, it's when it's really dark outside, it's cold. It's times when usually people are more depressed, there's not even enough sun. It's a very weird, dark, time of the year. And we say that this time of the year... Yes, so we'll see how we transform that. So this is the time of the year we say that belongs to Esav. We say that when Esav and Yaakov had a fight, they had a big fight and they made a decision. One took 3 months of the year, Esav, since he lost, so he took only 3 months. What are the 3 months that he took? Tevet, Tammuz, Ve'av. The 3 months, they are the main fast and all fast about destruction. Destruction of the siege of Yerushalayim, destruction of the siege of the Bet HaMikdash, and destruction of the actual Bet HaMikdash. And Yaakov took the other month. It's very interesting. It's this power of like darkness, this power of destruction that is here. And it's always the same month when we read all the parashiot about Yosef, about the story with his brothers and about that he's not upset at them. So there is obviously, between the anger and this destruction, there is a correlation. The more someone is angry, the more it will bring destruction. Mm-hmm. And how we fight this, we have to look first and understand why are people angry. Let's look into that. Let's back up for a minute. Why are people angry?
Because they're thinking about themselves.
Yes. Because they're thinking most of the time, they're thinking that
from their
they
perspective.
don't deserve it. That's the main thing that you will hear. I don't deserve it. Why is this happening to me? People get upset. Ask a child. A child is very innocent, right? What comes out of his mouth is usually the truth, usually. Yeah, ask a child, why are you upset? Because it's not fair. I'm mad. They all say that. It's not fair. We don't think we deserve it. It's not fair. Where is God? God is absent. God made a mistake. You keep hearing the same theme over and over. And usually people, they're very worried or they get really easily upset when someone touches about their comfort, the control, or their kavod. Mm-hmm. If someone comes and take your control away, you'll get upset. If someone comes and take your comfort away, you'll get upset. And your kavod, we don't even need to talk about it. You're done. People get really upset about that because they forget the main idea of the world that we need all to accept. Everything that is sent to me, whether it's good or bad, comes from Hashem. Everything. Mm-hmm. And Yosef understood that really well. That's the first thing he told his brothers. He said, I'm not going to get upset because Hashem sent me here. He knows very well that they are the ones who sold him. But he knows that behind them, they're just messengers. It's Hashem who did it. Mm-hmm. He understood that. That's the first thing that a person can do in their lives. When you feel the anger coming up, you tell yourself, who's sending me that? Hashem. That's it. Now, I'm not happy. I can talk to him. I can discuss with him. I can argue with him. But it's him who's sending me that. I don't, get things just by like this, like faith. No, there's no fate. Hashem is sending you things. And a lot of people, it's hard to accept it. But once you accept it, it gives you a certain peace. Because you know that it was meant to be. There's nothing that is not meant to be. Whatever gets to you, Hashem sent it. And when it's a person who does it to you, even though you can be upset at the person, right? But when you remember or shaliach. Now, the person chose to be the messenger, right? So you mean if someone is toxic, if someone does something bad, then you can take your distance from that person, right? You don't have to stay like someone slaps you, okay, give me again and again. No, take your distance, But you don't have to have anger in the mix. You can say, okay, whatever happened. Hashem sent it to me. Now I can do my own like tachbulot and my own calculations, why and how. Exactly. Yeah. He came, he left, but it's Hashem. But there's something else that Yosef understood really fast. He understood that sometimes in life, a lot of people get angry when they get something because they don't see the point of it. Why Hashem is sending me that? And they don't have the answer. They don't have the answer to that why. So they gets them upset. Yosef understood it completely. What did he say to his brother? He said, Hashem sent me. So we see already he knows who, rules, who is sending everything. But the second thing he said, and thanks to that, I was able to save everyone, the whole world, from hunger, whatever, from being hungry, from famine, anger, right? Yeah, from hunger and hunger, right? The lesson is right there.
Yeah, if you're hungry, definitely you're angry.
Yeah, you're definitely angry and hungry. Oh, yeah. But the idea is that sometimes in life, Hashem sends us something and we're lucky enough to see why, to understand why. But sometimes we're not. But it doesn't matter it's still Hashem who sent it to you, and you will end up understanding at some point in your life. Of course it helps, but if you train yourself to believe and have this emunah that it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent it to you, you took the anger out of the equation. There is this story that just happened a few weeks ago. I'm sure you've all heard about it. Elal was in New York. They were supposed to leave early. They didn't leave early. And there was an Elal airplane. Was supposed to leave early. It was Erev Shabbat, the Friday, and it was Thursday night, and then finally they delayed it, and at the end, what happened? Yes, so they delayed it so much that the people in the airplane said, we want to leave if we don't get there on Shabbat. So that is it. What happened? No, they all screamed. No, they all screamed. And what happened after they all screamed? They diverted the flight and they had them land in Greece, and they called the Chabad there of Greece, and they told Chabad of Greece, we're coming with that many people. Chabad of Greece has, like every Chabadnikim, they're amazing. They immediately prepared a meal, they set up a hotel, everything was ready for the people. Everyone came for Shabbat. And כמו Chabad. Yes, so when everyone came to the hotel, what happened? In Greece, they were trying to build a mikvah. And for a long time, they were not able to, in Greece, in that place, they couldn't build a mikvah. There was no money for it. When the people came, what happened? They all donated. Exactly. They were so impressed by Chabad, who hosted them and found the money, found the food and everything, that they all gave money and they were able to build their mikvah. Here, you see, we see HaKadosh Baruch Hu. In this case, we're lucky enough to see the result. The result is that I don't know exactly, but you can look it up. It's on Chabad.org, I'm sure. But the beauty is that they were able to build their mikvah. Who knows now if they were not delayed, so this guy can come and we can shine a light on Chabad of Greece. And now they get their mikvah. That is the beauty. Sometimes what I'm saying is that everything comes from Hashem and everything has a reason. But sometimes we don't see the gratification right away. We don't understand why. Why? We don't get it. But trust me, HaKadosh Baruch Hu has a plan. Everything is already planned out. So another idea here is that when something happens, and some people, they just have this anger that lingers, that stays with them. The anger cannot leave. They're angry and they stay angry. I have to keep pronouncing it correctly. And they stay really angry. And you have to ask yourself, when someone hurts you, and it makes you angry, right? But the person hurts you only once. But what you keep this anger, then you keep hurting yourself. Exactly. The person hurt you only once, but you keep hurting yourself. Exactly. You let that pain, that suffering, you let that suffering, you let that pain actually penetrate your mind and your heart and everywhere. And it gets you sick. You know, there is a scientist, his name is Fred Luskin. You can look him up. He's with Stanford University. And he did a study about people and about anger and the art of forgiveness. How can people overcome the anger and can really become forgiving people? How can you get to that point? And he took 5 women from North Ireland. These 5 women had their son shot. So you can, you can really imagine the sadness and the anger that they felt, especially towards the person who killed their son. And he worked for weeks with them on ways how to calm your anger, how to accept what happened, how to move on, and so on and so on and so forth. And after these 5 weeks, these women, they were healthier. They had no more high tension. They had less cholesterol. They were calmer. On the depression scale, it was all the way down. They were happier. They were smiling more. Meaning you actually impact your health when you stay angry. Being angry, it's not just something that is a feeling that is on the moment. It's something that stays. If you don't train yourself to accept that it's from Hashem, to be able to move on, then the anger is going to stay with you and it gets only worse. It doesn't get better.
This is toxic.
It's
toxins in the
toxic.
body.
You have to forgive and let go. It's the only way that you can stay healthy. And look at this. Look at a car. You break a car, right? Then put it overnight outside. You go in the morning. Is the car still broken? Yeah. But the beauty of a human being is that you go, you sleep, you wake up, you refresh. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is giving you a new day. A new day. A new start. A new try. Yeah. You can always change things. Things don't have to be the same. You don't have to stay upset. That's the beauty of this. Another, I told this story at my class last week. It was a story about the Rebbe. Beautiful story. There's this guy and this couple, actually, they couldn't have children. They tried a lot of treatments and prayers and amulets and name it. They couldn't have children. They tried everything and they were really getting depressed and sad about that. And the person at that time, you could go in Yechidut, you could meet the Rebbe, and he went to the Rebbe and he asked a bracha. He said, what should I do? I cannot have children. What Tehillim should I read? What mitzvah should I take upon myself? And the Rebbe asked him just one question. He said, are you upset at someone, or is someone upset with you? Did you say sorry to someone, or did you forget to say sorry to someone you're upset with? Or someone who is upset with you? And he kept thinking and he was like, I don't remember. No, I'm not upset with anyone. And the Rebbe asked him the question again. And he thinks and he says, the only person I can think of is my previous fiancé. I was engaged and we broke up because obviously we're not meant for each other. But, so the Rebbe said, so listen, you're going to find someone who's going to go talk to her and ask her for forgiveness on your behalf. And at the same time, for 30 days, I want you every day to say the vidui, the forgiveness prayer, to say it every day with her in mind. And the person that you're sending, do you have someone close to her that you can send? So he said, yes, I can send a brother. It's him actually who put us together. It's him actually who put us together because I was really good friends and I'm still friends with him. So he said, so okay, ask his brother to go and talk to her. Ask for forgiveness and tell her the following. Tell her that it's in her benefit to forgive you because as long as she's upset, it blocks the source of bracha also for her. And the guy did exactly what the Rebbe said. For 30 days he prayed. And it happened that she was also not married. She didn't find anyone. She sent the brother and he said exactly what the Rebbe said. And after 30 days, his wife came home and announced that she was pregnant. And she found a zibug.
Wow.
Yes. And the beauty of that story is that you see that people think when they're upset that they're just the only ones, right? Or who are upset and they stay in their anger. But when you're upset, you basically block the bracha for everyone around you. It's not just for you. It's for everyone around you. So think about that. You're upset with someone, you're blocking the bracha for you, for your family, not just for that person. So is it really worth it to stay
but
with that anger?
Somebody was angry. Somebody else was angry.
She was angry with him.
So that blocked his
Him
blessing.
and her.
אבל זה לא
She
קשור
couldn't get married.
לאנגר. יש כאלה שיש להם בלקים בלי שום קשר לאנגר.
יש להם מה?
יש אנשים שיש להם, לא הם עצמם, יש אנשים שיש להם, איך אומרים, אנרגיה שהיא שלילית. אני שמעתי את זה פעם מרבי, the black.
The מזל.
את המזל בכל מיני כיוונים.
אז איך להשתנות את זה? How do you change that?
אז יש כל מיני דברים שעושים, אני לא יודעת.
No, but that's one.
אבל היא מדברת על...
But that's one of the things. What you can do from that story, from what I'm learning. No, I understood. But what I'm learning from that story, also for that bad energy that some people carry with them, is that you can pray for them. When you pray for them like he did, he prayed for like a month for her with like only good vibes and good thoughts in his head. When you pray for people, things happen for you and for them. When you do a tefillah, you're actually opening like a highway. Not just for you. Once you open the highway is open to everyone. You're just opening the source of brachot for everyone. That's the idea. There are toxic people. There are people who have like bad energies. The only way you can pray for them, you can, like you said, it's how you see things. That's a very beautiful, actually, sentence, because Wayne Dyer was saying that if you change the way you see things, the things you see will also change.
But what happened if the other one doesn't want to forgive you? You try everything. And
Yes. So if you try and you wanna, the other person doesn't forgive you, at least you have
you
two
don't even know
things.
if she doesn't forgive you.
You try, yeah.
Contact.
Yes. So one of the things you can do if someone is really upset and doesn't want to forgive you is that first you have to make sure that you forgive her. That's the first thing. And we say that in the tefillah, like before you're going to sleep, Kriyat Shema Shel Amita. What do you say? You say, I forgive everyone who hurt me. That's the thing you say, right? Because before you want to be forgiven, you first have to forgive the other person.
ומה קורה במומנט שאתה בא לבן אדם
You try and someone...
ומנסה כל כך הרבה פעמים והבן אדם פשוט קשה כמו אבן?
Yes, it
יש
happens.
אנשים קשים כמו אבן,
Yes,
מה לעשות?
yes, that's true. It happens. There's some people you say sorry and you say let's make peace and they just don't want to hear from you.
ואז מה קורה?
That you cannot control the other
Yourself you
person,
can control.
but
You
you
just
can
remove
control
yourself
yourself.
from it.
Yeah,
That's it.
but you can forgive and not get upset that she doesn't want to forgive you. Because if you get upset about that too, then you're back into your, like this toxic cycle.
No, you kind of feel, okay, I did whatever I can do. There's nothing more we can do. That it is, תהיה בריאה וזהו.
Yes.
You have to continue. You can't just like...
Look, it's like a woman. A Jewish woman is the one who lights the candle for Shabbat, right? Why? Because she's the one who has to bring the light into the home. It's not just physical, it's like spiritual. I say it's the same thing in that story. If someone is upset and you don't want to forgive them, you're the one who should bring the light and keep bringing the light, and then automatically that person will be touched by the light. It's going to take time. So I've seen stories where it's like it takes months, it takes years, but at the end, something always, moves positively. A long-term run. I'm not saying to look at short-term. And this achdut, like this love, is so important. Look at Asara B'Tevet, what happened tomorrow, like this fast that we're doing. This fast is all about that the people were like taken away from their home. And it's terrible. The Bet HaMikdash is destroyed. Everyone is out of Jerusalem, out of Israel. Up to today, we're paying the price, right? It's very difficult what we went through. But there's a silver lining. Once they left, once they were taken away by the Babylonians, everyone was united. They started being together. There was Ahavat Israel. When they were far away, they started having Ahavat Israel. And I heard this week, I was really sad. There was like the terrorist attacks in Israel. And there's one that is in, this person that is in Bet Shemesh. I don't know if you heard about his son. This religious man, and his son was killed. I'm sorry, I forgot the name, but his son was killed. But he said something beautiful. He said, every time there is like a catastrophe, every time there is something bad, people come together and they say, oh, we need to be together and we need to live in peace and we need this and all positive vibes. And he said, why people wait for bad things to happen to get this feeling? Why can't we all get along and be nice to each other and work on ourselves to be not angry at each other and just to bring that love and that understanding before something bad happens? It's so powerful.
He was so strong. הוא חזר בתשובה.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's that guy.
Yossi, no?
I don't know his name, but what he said really stayed with me because he was so powerful, and that's the idea.
He was so strong.
And he's right. Why people wait until something bad happens and then everyone freaks out and everyone says, oh, we need to love each other. Let's light candles for each other. Let's do this, let's do that. Why can't we do that on a regular basis? Why can't the first minute we feel anger, we work it out? And you know what? There's a big reason why. It's because we're so used to judge other people. We're very judgmental. We're very judgmental. When we see something happening, we always judge the other person. But if we add a little more...
Because we live in a society that's crooked too.
Yes, but we have to be the light into the nation. We have to change that. So if we do exactly what Yosef did, if we, as soon as we see something happening, instead of finding anger, we actually find kindness for the other person. We try to find understanding instead of this judgment, then automatically we kill the anger. We nip it in the bud because we kill it before it even comes to us. And the Torah says, the Chazal, the Chachamim says, they say that a person that is able to control the anger, when they feel they're going to get angry and if they're able to stop it and control it right there and then, the Shekhinah, the divine presence, comes and stay with them. So they will merit to have God, with them, always at all times, accompany them, be with them.
But there's a few, how do you say, tzedim, the anger. It depends on the anger too. It's like things like that happen. Like this guy with the sword. You get angry, you can't feel sorry.
So you don't need to be angry like this guy happened. But what's the point of being angry?
Yeah, but sometimes, you like...
You can be proactive.
It motivates you to act.
I'll tell you, that's the whole idea of tonight. It's like to transform this negative feeling of anger that doesn't get you anywhere, besides bringing feelings of negativity and putting you into this pit that you're stuck in it. While instead of being angry, you can still disagree with what's happening. You don't need to be aggressive. You can still say, no, it's not correct. And you can find ways and tools to fight it. Like this guy, what he did, okay, what can we do? Can we write to the congressman? Can we try ways, for example, apparently he's running for Congress or whatever. We need to find ways to actually stop him from running for Congress. Find a way to put him in jail. You know what happened? You can actually channel these angry feelings into something positive, into action.
The first reaction is always anger. It's something you cannot... block it because it's like...
But that's the idea.
Yeah.
If Yosef, who was sold by his own brothers, he didn't see his brother, like his little brother, he didn't see him grow. He didn't see his father. The guy was like in jail for over like more than 10 years. Can you imagine even 1 minute in jail? Chas v'shalom. He suffered a lot. If he was able to contain his anger and transform it into something positive, then we can all do that. It's not, that's why the Torah tells us these stories. It's not just like a nice story. Oh, it's beautiful. You tell the children and they're like, forgive. It's because it's something that we can do. That's really the lesson about all the parashiot, about reading the parashiot. It's something that we can do. And tomorrow, Asara B'Tevet, is a very special day. People think it's just a tiny fast. It's just like, it's just a short fast. Most people, they say, I don't have to do it. But actually, when you think about it, it's a very powerful fast. What's the fast about? The fast is about this lack of ardut, this lack of unity. And the fast is also about, we say that the Chachamim say, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu, there is different days of judgment throughout the year, right? Rosh Hashanah, the men are judged. Tu Bishvat, the nature is judged. So there's a lot of dates. What days? Like Asara B'Tevet, the 10 of Tevet, it's the judgment that Hashem is asking, are we sending Mashiach to them or not? Every 10 of Tevet, we have a chance to tell Hashem, convince him to send Mashiach. And you know what we say? That every generation, then the Bet HaMikdash is still destroyed and not rebuilt. It's as if we destroyed the Bet HaMikdash. So tomorrow is our chance to actually build something. And we know that the only way to build the Bet HaMikdash is what? Love. Love. Free love. The same way that people they hated each other, sinat chinam, that's what caused the destruction of Bet HaMikdash. What's going to build it? Ahavat Israel, ahavat chinam. To love each other for no reason. We don't need a reason, like this father was saying. We don't need a catastrophe. We don't need something bad to love each other. We don't. We can just create that upon ourselves. And what's a fast? A fast is very interesting. A fast is eating less, drinking less. Why? Because back in the days of the Bet HaMikdash, people would bring, when they would do a sin, they would bring an offering to the Bet HaMikdash, a korban. What was the offering? There was fat and blood in it. Today we cannot do that. So what do? We fast. Because when you fast, you don't eat, you don't drink, you have less fat and less blood. So that's you offering to Hashem. That's what a fast is about. That's all the idea of a fast. Less fat, less blood. It's your own korban. It's your offering to God. You're asking Him. And in the Shulchan Aruch, it's written that a person that goes through a fast without thinking about the reason of the fast, it's after she didn't do it. It was worthless. Exactly. It wasn't worth. It was worth nothing. Because to make it worthwhile, to make it like meaningful, you have to know why you're fasting. Why are you suffering? Think about it. So tomorrow during the day, we think a minute, okay, because there was like this siege, because there was like this hate between the people. And We have to love each other. Maybe I'm going to work harder into loving people, into getting less upset. When you work on this, you make the fast meaningful, and hopefully Hashem will see our efforts and say, okay, yes, this year, yalla, I send them Mashiach. But that is the whole idea. And look how beautiful it is. All this explained in the tefillah. When you do the tefillah, when you do the prayer, when you look at the Torah, everything is there. It's mamash beautiful. Look at the Amidah. What's the Amidah? How do you do the Amidah? At the end, 3 steps backwards. What do you say? Ose shalom bimumav v'yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Israel v'imru amen. And only then 3 steps forward. What does it mean? That sometimes in a situation you want to get upset, you want to act like you're passionate, you're like,
Back
right?
off.
Yeah. What do you need to do? Back off. Walk backwards. Look first, calm down. Take a perspective on the situation.
Say shalom.
Yeah. Watch first. Was it worth it? Is it dangerous? Is it something that really, is it because of your honor that is touched, your comfort, your control, your ego? Or is it really something that you need to be upset about? And most of the time, if it's about you that you get upset, it's your ego. If it's about someone else or Hashem, then your anger may be justified. But when it's about you, you can work it out, my friends. And what we do, you walk 3, only once you walk 3 steps that you can bring the shalom. You cannot bring peace until you take a perspective and you walk backwards. But now you're not stuck. You have to move forward. You have to keep going. You have to transform that into action. That's why you do 3 more steps. And then you're done with your Amidah. That is the whole idea. Same thing when you do the tefillah at night before you go to sleep. First you say what? I forgive everyone who hurt me. Only then you ask for forgiveness. Because if you don't know, if you don't want to forgive others, why would we forgive you?
אז למה מתעוררים בבוקר וזוכרים או משהו? סלח.
You're supposed to. You're not supposed to. That's why when you wake up, you're supposed to say Modani. Thank you Hashem. The first thing you say, thank you Hashem. That's the idea. But think about it. Especially with Asara B'Tevet, with the 10 of Tevet, right? Is that if we all do this work that seems not that difficult when you think about it, when you take perspective, right? When you think about it. If everyone starts forgiving others, then this is contagious. It's going to come. There is this very cute story with this Rabbi David of Lelov. Rabbi David of Lelov, he was in the street, he was a big rabbi, and he was walking in the street, and this lady comes to him, and she's like hysterical. She starts screaming and hitting him, stupid, and this and that, and insults him and hit him until people come, and they have like to separate them, they have to calm them down. And the rabbi is not even getting upset. And finally she looks at his face and she says, "You're not my husband. I thought you were my husband. I'm sorry." She realizes it was not her husband. She thought it was her husband. I know what her husband did, but apparently, misken. So everyone turns to the rabbi after, and they say, "How come you didn't get upset? How is it possible that you didn't get upset? Everyone, come on, you come, you take hits, you get upset." He said, "Because she didn't hit me. She hit her husband." What's the idea of that story? That sometimes we take it personally and like fire and anger and come down, achat ruach, think, realize maybe the person is upset, but not at you, maybe someone else. My dad always tells this. He told us this story when we were kids. He was saying there was 2 kings, and one king sent a message to the other king. "Send me a white horse, or else." The other king got the message. He's like,
or else.
"Really? I don't have a white horse, or else?" The kings got upset at each other. They're starting a war. There were dead people and soldiers dying, and then they had to get civil people, and it was like fadicha. Horrible people started dying after a while. No one wanted war anymore. No one wanted this war. They tried to do like peace talks, and finally they got the 2 kings at the same table for a peace talk. And they were in front of each other, and he said, "Okay, so now explain to me. Why did you write that? a white horse, or else, why did you get so upset? He said, I wasn't upset, I meant, or a black horse. And he said, but me too. I said, I don't have a white horse. Oh, else I have a black horse. So both of them, they were actually fighting and killing each other. There miscommunication. Sometime in life, you just have to pause, look at the message. Is the person really upset at you, or they just have a bad day? And you just the one in the middle. Are you the messenger, or are they the messenger? When you think about all that, when you put all this in perspective, then you're less upset about other people. You're less inclined to love other people, to be less judgmental, and to forgive more. And that is contagious. That goes around. What comes around goes around. It will come back to you. And tomorrow is Asara B'Tevet. It's really a day that we have to take upon ourselves. It's not just any day. Try really to fast, at least until Chatzot, if it's too hard. But really think about what it means.
It's 1 o'clock, right?
Yes, or even earlier now, because we're in the winter. Depends where you live. But the idea is that this is such a special day. This is not just a little fast that we get in the winter. No, this is a fast that we may convince Hashem to send us Mashiach, to rebuild this Bet HaMikdash. Yalla. Who doesn't want that already? All we have to do is a little effort to bring more love, to have Ahavat Israel, and not wait for something chas v'shalom bad to feel, that connection with other Jewish people and other world. No, just bring it here, bring it now, bring this Ahavat Israel, and hopefully we'll merit to have the Bet HaMikdash and Mashiach Tzidkenu in the other order, but that's what we need and want.
There's also a story about this rabbi who used to change his jacket so he doesn't get upset. I don't know, I heard it a few times, I don't know exactly the story, but he had a thing, every time he's thinking he's going to get upset at something, he would change the jacket to calm him down so he can...
And that would help.
Yes.
But if you think most of the time we can really control the anger, I'll tell you a very simple example that happens to most people. You're in the car and someone is blocking the road or cutting you off. You can get upset. I remember I used to why? And I was like, what's the point? I mean, I'm going to still get to where I need to go, right? Worse what? I'm going to get there 1 minute later? Big deal. At the end, when you think about things, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I remember I would get upset, if my children, they get things dirty. I used to be very, like a maniac, I don't know. Clean
free.
Yeah, clean free. Doesn't go well in Hebrew, maniac, but the French maniac. So, you need everything clean at all times, whatever. And I was like, why am I getting upset? Seriously. Can I clean it? Yeah, I can clean it. Big deal. What do I love most? A clean house or my children? My children. I'd rather my children are relaxed and happy and feel good about themselves than my floor clean. And at the end, the floor, it always gets clean. It's okay. Right? Just takes time. If you think about everything in life, all the little things, everything, just take some perspective. Take this mental helicopter, just go for a minute, this emotional helicopter. Mm-hmm. Take perspective. Go away. Detach yourself from the situation and think, do you really need to get upset? And all this adds up. And then you see when you're not even upset at you. The previous Rebbe used to say about Lashon Hara that it starts with you. Don't speak bad about yourself. Sometimes some people, they cannot forgive others because they're always upset about themselves. They're so perfectionist. Perfectionist, I don't know how you pronounce this one. But basically, they don't forgive themselves. So it's hard for them to forgive others. So you have to first work on loving yourself. And if you feel that you're upset a lot, it means that you need more time for yourself. A woman, by definition, gives a lot. Gives a lot. She's a giver. That's the way Hashem created the woman. We're givers. But the problem is that when you give, then you deplete yourself. And when you deplete yourself, not only you have resentment, you don't want to give anymore, but then you lose. You're upset all the time. So a sign, if you get too upset, is just go for a massage. Go for get some nail polish done, get a foot massage, get something, do something for yourself. Take care of yourself. And then you'll be able to take care of the others. Love yourself, that will bring love to the others. So that was like
חזק וברוך.
the message tonight.